Yo, 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 we live on location. Milwaukee. We stepped into the frigid cold hey, listen, we had to come. When you got somebody that's the best ever is something, the best ever, somebody that every time he do something, it's a new record, you got to go ahead and pull up on it. That right, Black?
On the way.
Hey, man, multiple 2, 3 MVPs, however many MVPs, multi-time champion, man. Just point blank, the best shooter ever. Every time he hit a three, it's a new record, y'all, man. We got Steph Curry in the building, man. We appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Absolutely.
Y'all know this worldwide special right here. Lock in.
Yeah. First of all, we like to thank you, bro. We definitely appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely.
Thank you for rocking with us, man. We definitely rock with you, man. So, man, thank you. We appreciate it. But the first question we ask everybody that come on the show is, who was the first person that bust your ass when you got to the league?
Cole.
You was a $190, so
Cole was the first one in preseason. It didn't really count because it's preseason.
Cole went at you in preseason?
It was at the Forum too, so it was at like the iconic arena.
Yeah.
Stack Jack got thrown out at halftime at a preseason game, so I had to come back. For some reason, I got switched on him, and so he bust my ass in one possession. So he there's a switch. He walked me down to the post, called for the ball, but I'm trying to do like the 3-quarter situation, like make it look good for film and all that. And he like grabbed my knee and did the whole thing where he wasn't gonna let me move, and I'm like trying to get away. I'm yelling at the ref, thinking he's gonna call an offensive foul on him. Don't know what I'm talking about. And he got the ball, one quick shoulder to the chest, threw me like 5 feet back, turned around, jumper. That was a wrap. Then the second dude was Brandon Jennings.
Brandon
Jennings had a double nickel against us.
That was
I remember that. He was going through one.
Remember that game? Everybody. That was like
we talked about
6th
that.
or 8th or 9th game in the league.
Yeah. It was the first East Coast road trip. He had 55 earlier in the game.
He dropped
me, but he dropped me earlier in the game, like the second quarter. We were trying to blitz him, and he like came off with the screen on the left side. There's a film of it too. Hit me with a quick little left-right cross down to the middle, and I just sat down.
BJ don't get the proper respect. That boy was a bad boy. He was out here killing fools, and he was like, he kind of started that whole I go overseas before I go do this, and then prospered and came back and was still a lottery pick. So he kind of set the trend for that.
We got a lot in common. I got a lot of common with him. Obviously, same draft class, but he was Under Armour's first signature shoe athlete.
Yeah.
So
he had a couple sick pairs.
So I remember just seeing what they was putting out and all that, and like 5 years later, I was on the squad. So it's kind of crazy, all that.
Shout out BJ, man.
Yes, sir.
Every time you shoot one, it's a new record. Every time you make one, you had that kind of sunk in, man, that's another one. Like you just, for the rest of your career, every time you shoot it, that's a new record. Like, how did that feel?
It ain't sunk in because I'm still kind of reeling
still
off
breaking
the emotions
records
of the chase to break Ray's record, and that whole just electric night that we had at the Garden. You can't write. We got storytellers and amazing award-winning authors and writers and screenplays and all that. Like, you can't write that story any different. If I'm not gonna do it at home, to do it at the Garden in front of Ray, in front of Reggie, in front of my fam, I'm still kind of reeling off of the emotions of that. But somebody asked me maybe 2 or 3 games after that, when I got to 3,000, I was like, that's a crazy milestone. Never thought I'd get there in my life. And then I feel like I got a whole lot left in the tank. So
definitely do.
Break the record with every 3. So I can't celebrate crazy like that every time.
Because you got hype. But that make me think about UD, right? UD, I'm kind of every time he get a rebound, that's a new Heat record. So I used to be, even now I be messing with him hey boy, I seen you got you put a new record. But
you show
that's
the
for
love.
the Heat. You got it for the entire logo. That is insane to be like you say, got so much left in the tank, and it's Because UD tell me, he said, every time I get a rebound, that's a new record.
That's a new record.
Like, that's legit. Like, that's a bar. That's crazy.
It is wild. And I do know, just because, like, it's that weird, like, career type accomplishment, but I'm in my prime. Like, and so it's weird, like, to celebrate something that
so early
was meaningful to me, because it's how I play. It's what I've been working on my entire life. But see how far I can stretch it. Like, everybody's talking about 4,000. We'll see. Like, I'm just enjoying the moment, man.
That's just favor though. Like you say, to have it happen in the Garden. Like, come on, bro. Like that. Like Ray there, Reggie calling the game. Like, you can't line it up. Like you said, you can't script it no better than that. That was special.
No better.
Is learning how to shoot like a family recipe, like a secret recipe, like in the family?
I mean, yeah, it's a prerequisite. Even my sister, my wife didn't even grow up playing basketball, but she can get out there and knock it down.
She got the form.
Yeah, it's obviously in our DNA and our blood, and just loving basketball. You know, we've been around it our entire life. I guess talent can take you so far, and we all know that. But you know, to develop a real skill around something like that, it's just the reps, and you got to love it. So the natural ability is amazing. That's why I fell in love with the game early. But the reps and the work that we all put in to get to where we got in the league, like it's that's the special sauce right there.
Yeah, I can't tell nobody the secret recipe, like the family recipe.
Nah,
do Damon Lee get? Do Damon Lee get the? Do he get? Do he get it? Do Lee get it?
So yeah, by osmosis, right? He's
do he get it?
My favorite Lee story. Like, we were in New Orleans last year, and he was playing big minutes for us, and he had a breakout game. I think he had like 27, 28, something like that. And he was doing the post-game conference or post-game interview walking off the court. And I was in there with him. And so the reporter's asking us questions back and forth. And Mike Brown, who's our assistant coach now, he comes up behind him. He's like, "Oh, them Curry boys can shoot, huh? Them Curry boys can shoot." D-Lee turned around and said, Lee. So you better get my name right. He said, Lee boys. So he got a ratchet, though, for sure.
Toronto. Like, how was Toronto? Do you remember?
I love Toronto.
You remember a lot of it?
A lot of it. I love it.
And what was the transition like from Toronto, like, back to, like, the States and, like, Charlotte and stuff?
It was different. I love the city. It's so diverse. There's so much culture there. The Raptors, that was in the middle of insanity, so every game was unreal. It was just too cold.
Yeah,
We were just talking about that. It was just way too cold. But I lived up there for 3 years when my dad was finishing up his career. The adjustment was kind of cool. Playing basketball, I was in what they say grade 8, and I was playing against.
You played against Corey Joseph and Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, so we were all. I was playing for the Toronto 5-0. I can't remember which teams they were playing for, but we had like the provincial championships there in London, Ontario, and so I got to play against the best of the best in Ontario. It was basketball, but it was also kind of a nice shot for me to get away from North Carolina, where I was playing AAU and stuff, to just get a little bit of a different competition, a little different vibe, a different style of basketball, and build my confidence from there. And then when I got back and started playing high school back in North Carolina, I think I was better off for it. But it was also like, having my dad play in the league and watching him do what he did, like, we talk about the love of shooting. Me and my brother would go up to at the Air Canada Center, we'd go up to the practice facility, and we'd shoot for the first half, and then we go watch the second half. And so it's kind of like we were junkies. We wanted to just get shots up and play one-on-one and work on our game, but we also wanted to go out and watch the best of the best do what they did. So I was blessed growing up that way. Like, always having the opportunity to go play and be around and be able to see the best do what they do and be inspired by it. So,
like, tell me about that, because I feel like that's like a I don't know what type of advantage or what it does, but I feel like kids that get a chance to grow up around that, like, you know what I'm saying, you going to games with your dad, they got video of you sitting watching your dad win a 3-point, be in a 3-point contest and be at All-Star Weekend, you being around all that greatness, like, I feel like that just, like you say, like osmosis, like you just soaking everything up and you getting an unfair, like you getting to look at the test before you got to come take it way before. And it's like, can you remember and retain a lot of that stuff? But what do you think that is?
It's all of that. It's, you know, the IQ of the game and seeing how different guys approach it. Like there's a lot of different styles. We all know that. And you get to just see it every day and kind of see how guys develop throughout their careers and get better. And I was always watching everything, like how guys practice, how they, treated people in the locker room, how they, what kind of energy they show up with to the games, and then see how that produce on the court. I also feel like it's kind of like an either or situation for me when you grow up in the league. Either you got a crazy sense of entitlement, like because your pops was playing and like, oh, I'm gonna be here, I'm supposed to be here because he did.
We've all seen it.
Or it's the gratitude of like, damn, there's the best 450 basketball players in the world, and I know what my dad went through to get there. Like I got to work my ass off to get there myself, and like if I don't, it's a wasted opportunity. So like it kind of, that's up to you. That's up to how you approach it. And I'm appreciative of my parents for giving us a solid foundation of how we can respect the game in that front. Because nothing was easy for me in my basketball journey. Like, physically, it was late bloomer, all that type of stuff. But I got to see it, and that was definitely a blessing.
I want to go back to high school. You said you were a late bloomer, right? And tell me about how your psyche was, because like you said, it's got to be, kind of a demonstrative thing. Like you say, you're an NBA player's son. And so for you, at what point did you feel like it started to click for you, even though you still only had, so many, offers and things like that? At what point did you feel like for you in your mind it started to work?
I mean, honestly, not till like halfway through my senior year of high school. I went through the AAU circus so that's one other thing about me. I played AAU till I was 13, and then I didn't play until I was 17. In those 3 years, I just played school ball, and a lot of it was because I was such a late bloomer. Like physically, I could not keep up. And AAU, like if you're fast, as strong, as tall as, you're probably gonna shine. The skilled guy isn't really necessarily highlighted like that at that level, and so it wasn't doing me any good to get out there and just get bulldozed every game. So those 3 years, got to work on my game for what I knew in high school. Like I do push-ups, sit-ups, try to get a little stronger, but it wasn't. It nature was taking over. So once I got to 17, started playing AAU, travel circus, all that. You started to size yourself up against, the top. That's where the rankings started. For me, like that was such a big deal because I wasn't ranked at all. And I was like, what can I do to get to at least like, top 50 in my state? Like, let's start there and work your way up. So you play against the best of the best. And I was a turnover machine. Like I could shoot, I could score and all that, but I just could not, manage the game. I was a competitor. Like I wasn't going to back down, but it just didn't click. Senior year, we went to a high school tournament in Columbia, South Carolina. It was a Chick-fil-A Classic. And we played this school called Dunwoody from Georgia, and they had like Gani Lawal, Jody Meeks, some top prospects. And we made it to the championship. We played against them, and everybody was talking about we're overmatched, like this and that. And I remember playing in that game and just kind of coming into my own from a confidence standpoint, from a physicality standpoint, just knowing what I was trying to do on the court. The run on our team and score, and we got the win. And like from that moment on, I was like, these are the guys I'm going to be playing against on the next level, regardless of where I'm at. And obviously choosing Davidson in a small Division I school, like I can play with the best of the best. And I took that confidence and ran with it. So it helped to be able to, play my way through some of those mistakes and those learning curves. And even when I got to college, like my freshman year, I got to play right away and had 13 turnovers in my first game. Like I had to work through all of that and not lose confidence in myself. And and I got to reap the benefits of that later.
How was that to just be in college and going through all that and having a coach that believed in you, believed that you can do what you can do, what you're doing now?
There was belief, but there's also the tough love. Like we all had coaches that Like, why you always on me?
After them 13 assists, what was, 13 turnovers, what was that talk like?
It was just a lot of yelling, a lot of hearing my name and all that. But I'm thankful because, like, I wanted it so bad that I was cool, like, accepting being coached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew I didn't know it all. I knew I had a lot to learn and a lot of room to grow. But I was okay with getting coached no matter how tough it was, no matter how embarrassing it was. And I'm thankful that I accepted that early so that I could kind of go through those lumps and not lose confidence in myself. Because you have a coach that believes in you is one thing, and they're going to try to set you up for success, but you got to walk into that and you got to, make them, look like they know what they're talking about, no matter how hard it is, or you can cower away from it and give in to, the defeat, like what you can't do on the floor or the failures that you have and all that type of stuff. And it's obviously easier said than done, but I'm thankful, and that's what I tell everybody, be open to being coached, because, it's the only way you're going to get to your full potential. It's the only way you're going to get exposed to where, you can, like, look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I need to work on. This is the, the strides that I can take to get to where I want to be. And kind of roll with that mindset.
Man, if it was ever anybody for kids out there to listen to, like, you are the prototype, you know what I'm saying? Late bloomer, like you say, didn't have the confidence up until your senior year. Because it's a lot, like you say, especially now, way more than when we were coming up. Like, these kids now start getting ranked in 4th and 5th grade. It's like, they might not even play basketball by the time they get to 8th grade. Like, what are you ranking? It's like they legit got 4th grade. Like, I saw it first when they had Devin and all that. I'm like, they like, what? Rankings? So it's like, you know what I'm saying, for you to be all of those things, not confident, not feeling like you're good enough, but then you work and you become literally the greatest shooter ever. You know what I'm saying? They won MVPs, championships, all type of awards at the top level of basketball, period. So, like, you the prototype for people to see, like, you on your own pace. Yeah. It ain't what everybody else wanted to be. Sometimes it don't work like that. Like, I say that about, when we talking about our kids and stuff, people want this kid to do that. I say, man, everybody gonna do everything when they supposed to. Mm-hmm. We just have to be there to accept and support them.
Yeah. Sometimes guys rush their contract because there'll be a guy that be with them, and they see that guy kind of getting ahead on this year. He made the All-Star team a little area. They get themselves in a rush, and instead of going by their own pace.
So put that on, like, steroids, what these kids are going through now. Like you said, from the earliest ages, when they even play organized basketball, they're getting ranked and getting compared. And you got to own your journey. Like, God gives you what's for you, and you got to walk in that. And for me, like, I didn't know it at the time, but, like, that was just the perspective because I love the game so much. Yeah. And even, like, getting to my, into the league where you start looking at what other people's playing times, what their accolades, what kind of money they get and all that type of stuff. Like, you're all human. We know it's hard to not observe and notice that stuff. But what's really important, making sure your priorities are straight and making sure you know what journey you on, what pace you on. Like you said, like, that's what I try to tell all the rookies coming in right now, especially because everything is so exposed and everything is so hyped and everything is just on blast. Like, I didn't even have Instagram when I was a rookie in the league. Like, it's crazy.
I tell people all the time, for me and him, it's kind of like they talk about, man, if y'all was on social media, y'all would have been the shit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of goes both ways. I mean, like, we would have been great on one hand, but I can see a lot of times where they do like listen, like I say, we look. I mean, I feel like we probably would have been way more known, but it might have not been always for all the right reasons. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to make a lot of mistakes that y'all generation can't make. As soon as y'all do it, it's out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody leave practice or something, like, before you come apology stage. Whole wire.
A couple black screens with the white font, like, hey,
straight up.
We didn't have, like, like, camera phones was just, they hadn't even really hit
they
like
didn't
that
have
yet.
Color on the phone.
They was like,
black and white.
We still
the
had
screen
the
was black
green,
and white.
digital, black and green, digital screen. We had two-way.
It had a limit on numbers you can put in the phone and all that stuff.
These boys come in now.
Let me ask you this. In college, now you got your groove, you and your coach, you here, and, it's buckets every night. And, Davidson ain't playing in a conference where they playing a top, one of the big time conference. So now you got them few games on your schedule that, oh, this might be a ranked team, or they might not be ranked, but it's just a big name team. How competitive and how ready you was for them games? Because it seemed like every time you played a game that it might be a potential you can be on TV or ESPN.
Yeah,
You going for 40.
So that's why I appreciate my experience even more. Like kind of similar to what we're talking about. I was kind of off the map, off the radar while I was working on my game. And so like, my freshman year, we weren't ranked at all. We weren't even close. We played a solid non-conference schedule early, but then we went through our conference and we were undefeated in conference. Sorry, we lost one game in conference my freshman year, and that's when the buzz started. Then that parlayed into my sophomore year where we had, I think, 8 games in our non-conference schedule. We played Carolina, NC State, Duke, UCLA, NC State, and we played all those teams early because we knew we were good, and we knew we needed to get tested early to figure out who we were and get exposed a little bit because I think we lost all of those games. But then you get prepared for, if we get through conference and do what we need to do and get to the tournament, like that's our time to show people what we're really about. And that's exactly what the formula was, and that's how it worked. But to your question, like, I loved every bit of that because it goes back to, when I was playing at AU, like I knew those guys that were in my class and, that got those high D1 offers, and I knew I could compete with them, and so can our team if we figure out, have confidence in who we are. Even though we didn't win, like I love that environment. I love that stage. And it prepared me for that tournament run, which was, it was insane for, us to get one shot away from the Final Four and lose to the eventual champs in Kansas. And, that's when it became a show. And that's when it became good prep for the next level in the league, because everywhere we went, my junior year, it was packed to the nosebleeds, and there's a buzz. It was dope.
To know that you started, where you started, and then you got it, and you still you at Davidson. You not at, what I'm saying? You not at Duke. Because I can remember when I like you say, when you burst onto the map, everybody like we watching, like, man, you gotta check him out. You getting like, why you at Davidson though? Like how did, like, who missed out? Like, what happened? How is he at Davidson?
So many people gotta get fired. How you didn't see this?
I loved it because it was a nice balance of like nothing really changed back on. Like we had 1,800 students at campus. And so, like, everybody. Yeah, that's it. Like, we know everybody.
That's a high school.
Exactly. So you go play, run the tournament. We beat Gonzaga and Georgetown in the first 2 rounds. Then we get back to campus, and it's like there's a celebration, but people got class on Monday. It's like, and so do we. So we show up, and nothing really changes. So it gave us a nice perspective of, let's keep the main thing. Let's keep, enjoying this moment. But, we still have our culture here that's freaking dope, and we're representing it to the fullest on the biggest of stages. So I enjoyed it.
Take me back to your draft night, right? Because that's like all of our, biggest day ever up to that point. You know what I'm saying? So for you, to have a pops that played in the league, like, how did you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, now this is your dad and your family and everybody coming to you for your big night, and this is now you taking the family business to the next level, and it's your turn. Like, tell me what that feel like after, you've been in Toronto, Charlotte, you following your dad, support your dad. Now it's his turn to start doing that for you.
It was surreal, and I say that because when you're so close to it for your whole life, right? Like you say, you see it through his eyes, and when it's you, it didn't even make sense. It was like, I know I've been working on my whole life for this moment, but it didn't make sense. Like, it was happening, and that night was going to be the celebration of like him passing the torch, to me. To start my own career, my own journey. And that was one of his biggest pieces of advice, is like, you're going to get compared, and you're going to have the shadow and all that stuff, but you have to just live in your own journey. And whatever that means, like, embrace it. And that night was the start of it. It was an emotional night, though. It was his birthday. It was the night Michael Jackson died. So it's like all that was happening, and I was getting. It was just a whole lot going on. And then got drafted by the Warriors. And all the Knicks fans started booing because they wanted me to drop to number 8. So I had a lot of emotions going on that night, but I just appreciated the fact that I was going to able to realize a dream, obviously, and start your career. I didn't know much about the Bay, but I was ready to go out there and figure it out.
So with that being said, right, we all know quietly when this process is going on, we have our places that we would. I mean, we know we can't control it, but hey, I would like to play there or whatever. Mm-hmm. When we was coming, I wanted to go to Houston. Me and you wanted to go to Houston.
Definitely did.
Rudy T. Rudy T.
Let them get bugged. All ISO.
We want to do that.
For Steve Francis, all ISO.
Man, we love it. We go play with franchise. Whatever, right? So for you, when you get, like you said, it was emotional, and you didn't know nothing about the Bay. You said you wanted to play for the Knicks. How did you feel when everything went down?
So that draft process is wild. There's some new narrative every day.
Yeah.
There's some new guarantee on the draft board. There's some trade rumor. Every day it was something different. But through that whole process, I talked to Mike D'Antoni, who was the coach of the Knicks at the time. They had Gallinari, who was the young prospect, and the whole conversation was we put you, Gallinari, David Lee was there.
I was
y'all
there.
Would be exactly. that would be the vibe. D'Antoni would put you in all the right positions, be successful. I could be like Nash. I could be like Nash 2.0 when he was in Phoenix and all that type of stuff. So that was a conversation, and being in New York added to it because you're right there.
So you got you hyped. You high in the garden.
I was sitting there, and Blake goes 1, seemed to beat James Harden, Tyreek Evans, and then is number 5, and Minnesota's got the 2 picks in a row. So I'm like, all right, just get through these 2. They got 2 picks in a row, and then it's guaranteed. I didn't really know. I talked to Golden State like that. It's gonna be number 8. So they went Rubio and Johnny Flynn, and or vice versa. And so I'm like, all right, this is it. And the next 5 minutes felt like an eternity because you wait, the clock and the green room and all that. And then David Stern came out, said my name, and it didn't I heard my name, but it was wait.
I ain't even talk to them. It always be the team that you don't even fuck with.
Did you work out for them?
Nah, I didn't.
We didn't work out
for the Clippers. We was trying to avoid them.
We trying to avoid them.
No way they gonna pick us they
won 10 games. We weren't trying to go there. Man, it'll always be the team like that. They be lurking. That's what it be.
History repeat itself. It's crazy. So but then after that, you're just trying to make sense of it on the fly because it's just
then you get thrown into that whirlwind media in the back about 45 to an hour.
It's crazy. On the next flight, next morning, out to the Bay. But that was a definite lesson in care for what you wish for.
When you got drafted, they had a guard that was a bucket getter already there. The homie Monta Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things you learned from him when you got to the league? Because he was one of them boys when you got to the league getting them buckets.
He was my, just on a funny tip, he was my favorite one-liner dude.
Real quiet, but it hit you.
Real quiet, shoot around. He'd be a little stiff, a little slow to get going. And somebody calling him, Monte, you gonna run this play? He like, I don't smell no popcorn popping, do you? I don't smell no popcorn. You want it now? You want it later? You want it now? You want it later? That's my favorite line, so I still use that to this day. But he was his athleticism and just the way that he, just put pressure on teams, on defenses, it was just unreal. You look up and he had the quietest 40 of all time just because it was all just downhill, blow by you, finishes all over the place.
Pull up.
Sneaky pull up, he'll dunk on somebody real quick.
Dunk on somebody too.
But nobody could stay in front of him.
Right.
And it was a cool thing to see the speed of the NBA, watching, playing with him and watching him. Because I didn't have that athleticism, and I was just in awe of he could get anywhere he wanted to on the floor, and just his confidence in himself. it was I didn't know much about the We Believe era and like him being the young guy on that team, 6 man, and all that, and most improved and being a huge part of that team's success.
All that work he put in,
and the work that like coming out of high school and all that. Until when I got there, he was the vet at like 24, 25, and he had to come into that responsibility really quick. And I just playing off of him those first years, like we didn't really know who we were as a backcourt and our identity because it was a kind of a period of transition. But in terms of like enjoying playing basketball and that stage and seeing somebody's talent that's totally separate or different the way that I play, like it was dope.
How was it like? I know you can go to a lot of NBA teams, but it seemed like the Warriors was fit for you. You know what I'm saying? Don Nelson is one of them guys that kind of started, for real, is the godfather starting of like, man, we finna run and gun and we finna run it up. So if y'all ain't gonna score better than us, y'all ain't gonna keep up. And that's just like the perfect recipe for your game and the way you play.
Yeah. To
get in the organization like that and be there with people who believe in that type of style of play. How was that for you?
It was good. It was good. Like I think I talked about it a little bit ago. I always wanted to play in New York. That was kind of how the draft was set up and that whole process. But I knew Don Nelson and his style. And when I got there, C.J. Watson and Anthony Morrow were the 2 young guys that had made the team from the year before. They went through the
most shooters.
Exactly. And they told me, like, when I first got to camp, like, yo, you're going to love this system because it's all about just playing fast. Everybody's going to get a look. He wants you to to score, be aggressive offensively. And they weren't lying. Like in the training camp, we may have done one defensive drill. The rest was just roll the ball out, scrimmage. He would call out sets, we'd run them. And he was all about like matchups too. So it was kind of cool, like night in, night out. You go at whoever and he try to, press the right buttons on that front. So it expanded my offensive like horizon really quickly because once I started at the beginning of my rookie year, got pulled out the rotation for about a month, and I got back in. And once I got back in, like I kind of just hit a period of just another level of offensive like efficiency and just coming to my own confidence wise of what I could do. And everybody was a threat. Like, kick it to you, shoot it. Kick it back, you shoot it. Let's play fast. Only thing was like we changed defenses every night. we didn't know what our identity was, and it was just a cool. I got a little bit of every experience my rookie year. It was sad that was his last year coaching. Mm-hmm. We were chasing the wins for him to pass Lenny Wilkins that year. So it was weird. Like I think we won like 23, 25 games or something like that. But every game felt like important because it was about getting him the record.
To win before he retired.
Yeah, so it added a little bit of intensity to it. Gave us something to play for.
Like when you first got in the league, you was like, man, I'm 6'9" and I was $190. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even 200 pounds when I got drafted, and skinny kid, and it's a physical game out there. But when I seen you, you always size somebody up. As soon as you see them, you instantly size them up and see how they. But I noticed it on TV. But when I seen you in person, I was like, yeah, that's it. I was seeing your arms, your physique, how you changed. When you decided to go to the weight room and go to the weight room heavy, because us skinny guys, we'll go to the weight room, but we ain't going to get nothing done.
He don't go to weight room.
We went to the weight room all summer.
He become Eddie Murphy in the weight room. He can't all jokes.
And not a curve or nothing that hopped on these arms, you know what I'm saying? But then you see that one summer when you come back and your whole physique changed. And I seen it in you and your strength, and I noticed just now when you be running off screens and stuff, you're a little bit more stronger for them to they can't hold you no more.
Absolutely. Part of that was a reaction to like how defenses were guarding me, and the physicality of the league. That adjustment from college is a shock. The biggest thing was like I knew I could shoot the ball, and I knew I was kind of like finesse was a part of my game, and I could get away with it for only so long. About when we started getting to the playoffs and you realize how much the game changes at that point, everything slows down, becomes more of a half-court game. There's fewer possessions, it's way more physical, less foul calls, all that stuff. That's when I realized how much of a advantage it would be for me to get a little stronger. Not to say like gain weight, but just be able to hold my own. If I'm driving to the lane, somebody knock me, I'm not just, falling over. Or, you get double teamed, being able to pass it, all that type of stuff. The biggest thing was when I got down into the lane, like I could not make that pass. Like
always to the 3-point line.
Yeah, I couldn't get it out there.
Not
like,
enough.
Not enough balls here. I couldn't get it here and throw it over there. That's where, some of the deficiencies were. So balancing, like being strong, working on your core, all that stuff that helps you, get through an 82-game season, get through the playoffs and all that. I've just added to that foundation. So
I feel like once I got stronger and I really took the weight room serious, it was like I got new superpowers.
Straight up. And like from game to game too, you don't get as tired.
Yeah,
all that
like you got
stuff.
new superpowers when you just kind of add something on to your package.
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all first championship run, like a lot of people didn't have y'all like winning it. And not only did they have y'all winning it, as soon as y'all got to the championship against LeBron, it's like, oh no, ain't no way in hell. Like just take us through that year when like everything just clicked.
I mean, like it did. The first year, 2 years before, when we first made the playoffs in 2013, we beat Denver as a 6th seed, and we lost to San Antonio in 6, and then the next year we lost to the Clippers in 7 in the first round. Everything had been building in terms of, understanding who we were, what we needed to tweak a little bit to take that next step. It was bittersweet all the way around because I make sure I talk about it every time we talk about that championship, is because those 3 years before with Mark Jackson as our coach was so like valuable and instrumental to our success, because he established like a defensive mindset and like an attitude and identity around us that when he passed the torch off, I'll say that politely, to Steve, Steve brought another level of like an outsider perspective, having watched us for 3 years, and his championship experience, playing for Phil, playing for Popovich, playing with, MJ and Tim Duncan to help us get there. And everybody's going to talk about, like any championship team, what had to go right for you to win a championship, no matter what year it is.
Yeah.
But all those things, like, you have to be able to put yourself in position for the ball to bounce your way, for you to, even have an opportunity in those series to be a serious threat, to beat anybody in the league. And that was the confidence that we had. So, going through that playoff run, nothing felt out of the ordinary, but you also don't know what it takes until you finally get there.
Right. That's
so, That game 6 in Cleveland was just like an out-of-body experience, because you're trying to keep things normal. You're trying to, not do anything special, but you're trying to win.
Right.
And like
stick to
what
the
the stakes are.
Yeah.
And everything that goes right, you're like, oh shoot, we almost, we about to win this thing. It's just natural, just progression of getting to the mountaintop. So that team was special too. Like 1 through 15, we had. Great mix of a young core, some amazing veterans that have been around the league for a while.
And the Illinois boys over there now.
That's Dot. Hey, but this is what I want to know, like, because like I felt like this, even though we didn't win it when we were in Phoenix, and like you say, out of nowhere, we were expected to be the last place in the Pacific. So, but like, you get to that certain point in the season where, you guys in the locker room, y'all start looking around each other like, wait a minute, like. It's like, is this shit kind of doing this? Like, and so like.
Getting a lot of wins.
So like, that year we jumped over, we went 62-20. It was a lot of back and forth, like, oh, can they? And it was like, can they? And it was like, at first we was like, can we? Like, and then it was like, every time you look up, we icing with 8 minutes to go. We blowing people out. So like, at a certain point, like 3 quarters through the season, after we had came out of All-Star, and we still smoking people, and everybody like don't know what's happening, we started looking at each other like, fellas, like,
this is real.
This might be official. Like, so at what point?
To get to that point, you have to be so locked in on the day-to-day that you can't really, you can let your mind drift a little bit.
Right.
But April, May, June so far away. Like even where we're saying right now, it's we have 40-something games and so much
3 more
basketball
months.
to play. Exactly. Like you said, like you're so locked into that day to day to win 62 games in a season. Like that's hard. And with the effort and the commitment and focus it takes, like you can't even allow yourself to think like, oh, what's a playoff matchup about to be like? What's that time of the season? But everything matters to get there. So it's dope to hear that because like even if you get it done or you don't, the process is still the same.
Yeah.
And you start to look at other teams in the league, like who's the other best? Oh, we match up nice, cool. Like, oh, we beat them in the regular season, cool. It don't mean nothing until you get to the playoffs and go through that. So
could you have foreseen having that type of season and that type of success 3-4 years ago when you was going through the ankle injuries and like take us inside of that because like he been through injuries, I've been through injuries, and that people don't understand how hard that is to overcome, and like for you to overcome that to the level that you have, because like that was when like you obviously didn't get a big deal because of that, like you know what I'm saying, like
Absolutely.
those things affected everything. So and people don't know that us as humans, the human part of us as an athlete, we doubt and we question ourselves, especially when something happens over and over again.
Straight up, like as the one refreshing part of seeing Klay go through what he went through these last 2.5 years is the reminder of like we all have to work hard. Off seasons are a grind, practices, travel, like all the stresses of being a professional athlete. Rehab is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, like bar none.
They don't understand.
It's 2-3 times the amount of time that you put in. It's monotonous. You're usually isolated, like it's just you going through it, away from the team. Like that is the hardest thing to deal with. So everything you just said, like all you want to do is just play. Like you don't really care what the context is. I just want to be healthy enough to play basketball, and what it takes to get through injuries, no matter what they are. They test you. They test everything, how much the game matters, your perseverance, and all that type of stuff. So when I was going through my ankle stuff, like no, I couldn't even, imagine the heights that we would get to, because I was just going to the rehab facility every day, seeing the same, crew who was so invested in my process, but I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And obviously it paid off, but it's it is the hardest thing you have to go through as an athlete, no matter what the injury is.
How was it like playing against KD and they almost finna beat you the year before, and then that first game with you, Klay, KD, and y'all standing for a jump ball like, ooh, we finna fuck somebody up this year.
Nah.
He actually is here. It's finna go down. Like how was that?
We cheat.
Like that feeling.
You can't even play with that. Look, when y'all got on the team, we played the video game. I said, hold up, I'm going to just say
not a preseason game, but like, all right, this one actually counts. It's us.
If you get the words on the video game.
I forget who we played. I forget who we played that first regular season game, because I had that moment and you're like looking around like, oh my God. Yeah. But there's also like, and me, I might have just internalized this as the point guard and like the guy that felt like I had to get everybody involved. There's a little insecurity of like, there's so much talent. Is this gonna work? Because I'm like, all right, I'm starting to count shots. Like, all right, he gonna get 20. He gonna get 9. All right, 7. All right, how we gonna do this?
Yeah.
So those thoughts were starting to creep in early in the process. And if you look back, that first year, game 1 through like Christmas Day game, it was not pretty. Like we were
figuring it
all
out.
Type of inconsistent. Our record was solid, but it just didn't look like it was supposed to.
It didn't look clean.
And a lot of that, I assumed a lot of that responsibility in Draymond as well, like trying to figure out how to make it mesh. Because you like in theory, you shouldn't have to worry about Steph, Klay, or KD getting shots. Like that shouldn't be an issue, and you shouldn't worry about Draymond being able to facilitate a lot of that. But it wasn't. It wasn't as seamless as people might think. But then he got hurt right after All-Star break, and Matt Barnes, joined the team, and from that point, like KD was rehabbing, trying to get ready for the playoffs, and we kind of had to revert back to the year before and how we played. and then knowing that everything was going to change again when KD got back right before the playoffs started. So it was just a lot of stuff going on, but we knew like the talent was there, obviously. Yeah. And, you know, if we show up and do what we're supposed to do, everybody locked in, like we should not lose. But it was also, you know, again, 6, 7 months of that. Every day you're trying to make sure it works, because if you don't, you're going to look like some idiots. Like,
but how was that seeing him? Because, like, you know, he's one of the best players in the league. He's in the same, you know, category as you and LeBron and all these other guys. But to see it in person.
All respect in the world to how great, all-time great scorer he is. Like, he gets it in every type of way. And you see it on the court, and like you try to complement each other extremely well in terms of how we were trying to win games. The best part about it was practice, because me, him, and Klay, like trying to work on our craft. Sometimes we work together, sometimes we'd be on our separate courts, but we always be watching each other. And you always be like trying to like level up the intensity, level up the approach to the game. And like that's such a dope environment to come to work every day, because you got Klay Thompson, you got Kevin Durant, myself, like we all put ourselves in like the great scorer category. Like you get to watch the work that goes into it every day. And haven't seen K, like I've seen Klay for 10 years, but to see KD and his approach on the day-to-day, like I see the results, I know like the work that he puts in, but to see it, it's different. And that elevated all of us.
That's what he was saying. We asked him about that when we had him on. He was like, dude, to watch the way that these dudes could shoot every single day. He was like, that made me feel like yo, like when you in the gym and you got two dudes that can shoot the way y'all could shoot, he like, bro, I had to like they made me become a better shooter just trying to keep pace. Like if we doing any drills or this or that, it's like, y'all ain't missing. He feel like he can't miss.
It's like when you were growing up, you wanted to find the best in your city, the best wherever, to go find the best games, because you knew like that was going to elevate. You couldn't just live off of, the crumbs of the competition. Like you actually got to go find the best, because that's going to sharpen your toolkit even more.
Did you know Klay before he got to?
No, so Klay knew Seth before he knew me. So they were on the same U19 team. And they went to, I think, New Zealand, and they won gold. So I knew a little bit about Klay through him, and then he got drafted. And that was the first time I actually met him when he came out to the Bay.
Let's talk about like Klay, like the other night, just to see Klay come out, and he got him a body or two. You know what I'm saying? Was that scary or what? After you finished that height, was you like, man?
I didn't see him come down, because we talked about this. He'd been out for 970 something days, 2.5 years, and he had talked about it. He's like, I can still. We all know I can still shoot. I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna figure out how to move, get off the dribble stuff. Like, yeah, I'm sure that'll come. He's like, well, the last thing that's gonna come is meeting people at the rim, getting a couple of bodies. I'm like, yeah, don't press yourself. Like, just stay within yourself. Like, it took that man 9 minutes, and he was crossing over, going in the lane. And then when he dunked it, like, I lost it. I was on the bench going nuts, going crazy. Everybody. But then I saw the replay again, and you see him dunk and like come down on all fours. He got up, and he was like, "Oh, I'm back." Yeah. So it was, he was just getting to it.
He sure looked like, as he was going, it like he was getting his feet together, like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go. Like, that's how he looked like this.
That's exactly. I'm out here. I might as well. It's cool. It's obviously, it's amazing to see him back and have him back.
Straight up to have him back and all that, man. I thought that was just dope how Draymond got in the game, and just to see y'all guys together. Like, man, that's just
10 years and
together, that's just a dope look.
It's crazy.
And the fans, man, just the love they give him, man. That's what he deserved, man, because he one of them ones. And
Klay he has become the most interesting man in the NBA. Like the Dos Equis man.
That's what we call him now. The Dos Equis man.
Be unmatched. Like if Unbothered was a person, that's Klay. Klay's out here chilling,
Captain Klay with his boat, the dog, and reading the newspaper before the game.
Like he took his boat to and from the Klay Day game. I told you, man. The man left on his boat, man. Came back, caught some bodies, and then got back on the boat. Yeah. That's a bar.
He is unbelievable.
We all, we've been watching this game for so long, and we love everything about the game. And some of the dopest nicknames come from this game. You know, you got the Splash Brothers, you got Babyface Assassin. You know, which individual one you like the most? And was it any other thing that you heard that you was like, oh man, that might be it? And then Splash Brothers came.
Splash Brothers at the top. Babyfaces on an individual basis. That's the first one I had heard from myself when I was in college, and I love that one. That one got the nod from Cole in terms of my killer instinct. Like, that was love. I've heard the Human Torch before, which was solid. Solid. But other than that, that's the list right there.
I want to know, did you know Draymond before he got to the team?
No, I met Draymond once before he got to the team. My junior year, I was on the All-America team, and I got to go to the Final Four as part of the ceremony or whatever, and I watched him play in the Final Four. I think that was his freshman year. But not meet him again until he got to the Bay, and from that point on, like, he obviously makes his presence felt no matter what room he walk into, and that was the vibe as soon as he stepped foot as a rookie out in the Bay. But that's my dog. Like, the experiences we've had on and off the floor, championships we won, how we've grown on and off the court. Like, it's crazy just to know, where he came from as a 32nd pick. Exactly. And not really knowing what position he was going to play.
A lot of questions.
Just like, ain't no questions now. So.
Like, we know, like, you can be on the team and like on the stat sheet, it don't show the impact that you actually brought to the game. And like with Draymond, they try to give him, a lot of people try to not see, well, they don't see as basketball players. We as basketball players see, but let the casual fan don't see what he actually brings to the table. Like, how important to
don't understand it.
To like over these years of these championships, like his verbal, his leadership. And you know, we all a little bit crazy, you know, but it's okay, you know. As long as you love us the way we is, everything is all good.
You won't find no championship team that ain't have somebody else.
Yeah, that's we can do a deep dive on exactly what's the recipe for a championship roster. But your comment about what not showing up on the stat sheet affecting winning, that was a narrative about him from day one. And honestly, sometimes it wouldn't show up in the stat sheet. He played 12, 15, 16 minutes, and he'd have 4 rebounds and 2 points and maybe an assist. But you watch the game and you see his presence everywhere.
Yeah.
And he could do that in just spot moments, you know, his rookie year. And then the second year, he got a little bit more playing time and more opportunity. But now, like, I guess you could argue his stat line doesn't look like a perennial all-star, but you know, he's a stat sheet stuffer. Like, he'll have we always wait for like the Draymond's the first in however many years to have, you know,
the crazy,
like 7 categories and stuff that he did. It's like, bro, how you do all that?
He ain't a shot blocker, but he's there every time you get beat. Anytime any of them guards get beat, he's there every time. And that's not gonna show up on nobody's stat sheet, maybe in the film room. But if you got a guy that's gonna be there every time you be beat.
As creative as I am on offense and like the stuff that you try to do, if you take that same approach and you add it, like whatever that means defensively, is Draymond. Like he'll see things, he'll make reads, he'll make rotations that don't make any sense in the scheme of how you would coach somebody, but he knows where to be at the right time. And you wouldn't even ask somebody to even try to do it. Like that's how crazy it is sometimes. He'll guard 3 people in 5 seconds and affect every single part of their cuts, their moves, and like affect the shot at the rim and all that type of stuff. And then your other point about leadership and just the competitive, you know, fire, the voice in the locker room, holding people accountable. That's always been there, and it's obviously, you know, gotten more experienced and more polished in terms of like how to be able to lead guys 1 through 15, no matter what part of the season we're in, all knowing that everything that we're doing is geared towards winning a championship. And anybody who knows basketball, anybody who's either played or watched the game knows what the hell they're talking about. That dude is all-time great.
Y'all went back to back though, right?
Yeah, they went back.
We went back to back to back.
Tell me that. How hard was it to repeat, especially with all the attention that was on you guys' team and the way everything came together? Like, how difficult was that to manage?
It's difficult because it makes the regular season just that much harder. When you come off a championship run, you go through the off season, everybody's hyping y'all up, celebrating all that. You come back to training camp, everybody's excited to be back, and then you're like, oh, it's 82 games before the games that matter.
Right.
But like you can't have any slippage on what got you there. But it's just like it's human nature. It's just so hard to pace yourself through that 82. And so it's difficult and it requires a lot of adjustments and readjustments throughout the season, a lot of different motivational tactics from coach to keep the season fresh and all that type of stuff. And then you get to the playoffs and that's when you're at your best because you've been there before. Especially we had the same team back for the most part. That chemistry, it clicks. And so, that's why I'm so pressed. Like, even though we didn't win in 15-16, like coming back and starting the year off 24-0, it was like one of the next craziest accomplishments we had because you have that height from the season, from the off season, and all that, and the championship glow, and like to sustain that focus for as long as we did, and that, and we all know how that season went. Like it's pretty impressive.
Do you on purpose? Like, 'cause I be seeing like a lot of guys when they get to getting in they shit, they get to making them tough faces and flexing and all that stuff. But you smile. You smile like it's a thing when you get in your ass, but you see they down there being tough. But like he just smiling and he kicking my ass. Like what? Why you chose the approach of smiling?
I don't. It's my natural just disposition. I have fun no matter where I'm at. I'm always smiling, joking, laughing. But I was talking to Jordan Poole actually today, and he asked me like, "Yo, what's your take on trash talking?" And I actually thought about it. I was like, most of my trash talking is reactive. Like, if you say something to me, I'll say something back. But I'm not out here like huffing and puffing, woofing. But I was like, I'm good for a facial expression or a smile. Though. That's my trash talking. Like in terms of when I'm feeling good and enjoying myself, and I know I did something like that the smile's gonna come out or the Thiz face right or something.
I'm on the record. I'm on the record, whether it's at NBA TV, Turner is somewhere talking about how I would have been fought him. I had to play him, and I'm smiling. Responsibility.
I gotta make him mad.
All the facial expressions, I don't care. Even like you ain't gotta be doing it at me. If I'm guarding you when you did it, I took it that way. Like it was personal, and I don't look.
But see, I would have thrived off that though.
Running and doing all this, then he goes smiling and shimmy. I'm like, somebody better trip him. You better trip his ass before I get to him, boy. Like, nah. One time they'll just be like, damn, we just tackled him. Like, that was me. Something gonna happen on my terms. He's doing all this. This is on my terms. He ain't make me foul him that time. I decided I was gonna foul him.
That's so true. That's so true.
One year, after y'all play every game, I look forward to your press conference because Miss Riley was on the press conference, and it just made my day every time I seen y'all play, and just to see her talk, and I'm waiting to see her talk like it's inside the NBA. Like, how was that for you? I seen your son give Klay the ball at the end of the historic night to have. You went through them locker rooms, and you done brought that playground. You done been in that playground environment of an NBA arena to bring your kids in and to see your kids enjoying it. The way they that's their own little playground. That's the other playground.
It gives me so much perspective in life, just in general, because we talk so much about basketball and accolades and experiences and the process and all that. That is like so insignificant compared to the joy you see on your kids' face when they get to have an experience. You get to share that a little bit of you with them in that environment. And like you said, because I have videos of like Muggsy Bogues carrying me like an airplane through the Hornet locker room when I was like 4 or 5, and sitting on Zoe's lap at the 3-point contest, like those type of experiences that I don't necessarily remember, but I know like that was a part of just me having an amazing experience as a child and how blessed I was and all that. So be able to give that to them. It's also bittersweet because it reminds me of how old I am now. It's like you see them get it. Like, I say old in all relative speaking, but it's just like, my daughter's who was at the press conference is now about to turn 10.
Yeah,
like, hold on.
yeah.
She don't even want to come to the locker room no more because she got her own thing going on. Like, she don't want to mess with. Yeah, I miss those days. So. It's special though for sure. Just to be able to again just share a little bit of what you do, and for them to actually, my son, he threw the ball to Klay. Said, congratulations. Then he waited for 2 seconds. He said, give me the ball back. I want to play basketball. I was like, I love that. I love that.
How proud of Seth you are, like, to see his journey and to see him on this level. Like, he here. He ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. Like, he here. And he going to be here for a long time shooting that thing, too. Especially, when schools finally, you made schools figure, like, oh, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
Like, now we can't let Seth go through this mug and go to Davidson or any of that. He got to go.
That's the thing. So he went. We went to the same high school. My senior year, we played on the same team as the sophomore year. So when I got, went to Davidson and all that conversation started, it was my sophomore year in college that he was a senior in high school, and so he's like going through the same recruiting process and all that, and the same thing was happening. And he ended up at Liberty University.
That's what I'm about to say. He didn't
for a freshman. His freshman year, he played at Liberty University in the Big South. So it was the exact same kind of situation. But for him, his experience was a little different. They played crazy defenses against him in their conference, the boxing 1, triangles and 2, all that stuff to take him out because he was killing his whole year. So after his freshman year was over, him and my dad were talking about knowing how Steph's career at Davidson went. Like, if you're not playing in the tournament and not making that run, can you actually get enough attention to give yourself a chance to play in the league? And for him, he's such a confident dude. He's like, just get me on that stage, that high D1 situation. I'm gonna show you people what I'm about. And he got Coach K's attention. Transferred and did his thing for the 3 years that he was there. And to see him go through that process and then get hit with an injury coming out of his senior year where he missed the draft process and all that and having to kind of start from scratch makes me even more proud of what he's accomplished, because his path was even more uncertain than mine in terms of having to go on a training camp deal and go to 2 different G leagues. He had I think 4 different 10-day call-ups before he got his first deal in Sacramento.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once he got an opportunity, he's always like, just give me an opportunity and I'll prove myself and I'll show y'all that I'm capable of playing on this level. And then from there, the rest is history. He's gotten better every single year.
Every year.
You see him this year in Philly, he's a go-to guy. He's a playmaker. He obviously can shoot the ball. He can defend, and it's just wild to know. Like you said, he's here. He's a vet now.
We're NBA players, and we have kids, so our kids instantly go in this pile of NBA kids. You know what I'm saying? So when you see somebody like Seth with all that expectation from your dad, from you, to get the opportunity to do what he do and make it on that level, to just put his own mark, man. Us guys love to see that stuff.
You understand how hard it is, man.
Yeah, it's hard. How hard it is. They be on. You miss a shot. Oh man, you can't shoot like Steph. You can't shoot like your daddy now. You know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy. And if you feed into that, it can mess your whole thing up, man. But I'm definitely proud of him, man. I love to see him play, especially with
I'm
NBA.
sitting here thinking about it as he's saying that. I play against your daddy and both his sons.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, you old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blessed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm blessed to be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Control your narrative.
Feet, player. Thank you. Control my damn narrative out here. I ain't know.
We always want our name in the rap. You know, Steph Curry with the shot, one of the biggest artists in the world, and not other.
That's it.
And all that. Just to hear your names in the culture, you know, it's part of us. That's like the process of being the man, like hearing your name, and to hear like Drake and just other guys say your name in songs. Like, how did that feel for you?
I don't even know how to put that in words. It's surreal because like the first one, nobody ever call you and tell you like, yo, I'm about to
just pop up.
Hey, I wrote this bar.
Like, he leveled up so far that they passed like his wife and stuff in rap.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't just him at this point. You know what I'm saying?
When I was talking about Cardi B, she had the line like, I think it's I want to get married like the Currys, Steph and Aisha, but we is more like Belly, Tommy, and Keisha.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
I said on that day, like, that's another level.
Yeah.
But me and Drake actually talked about it because I asked that question like, yo, you ain't like give a heads up. It's just, you know, them dropping this bar, you naming it, the whole deal, and obviously that song is unreal. But just to know like how much they appreciate, how much they're inspired and appreciate what you do, that, to the point where it's on the top of the mind when they're in the studio doing the whole process and all that. So that respect is so much back and forth. So. I do need somebody to get like the playlist going of every mention, just so I can just have that in the archives.
That'll happen soon. Just somebody gonna run that for
somebody gotta run that for me right quick.
This is what I want to know because born and bred, I'm a Chicago kid, so I take offense to hearing that you think. Your Warriors team, was it with or without KD?
No, it was with.
With KD. I'm not really tripping whether it's with or without. I just want to be sure for the clarification of the world right now. You said y'all could beat MJ and the Bulls.
Yeah. I said it, and I told
the floor is yours. Explain.
I mean, it's the best place to sit because I could be right, I could be wrong, and ain't everybody.
Yeah, nobody can ever,
But the best part is I talked to MJ over the summer when I did an interview with him talking about golf, ironically, and he would be disappointed, I think, if I didn't have that confidence in my team. Because if anybody is going to try to measure up with him and the dynasty of the Bulls, you can't have no other attitude than that. So I love it though, because as any hoop head and anybody who watched that team and know how great they were and how great he is, the greatest ever. Like, what we talking about?
I'm just gonna be on the record. I'm going with MJ and the Bulls.
Right.
Listen.
Wait, at least is it? How many wins can we get then? Because I said Warrior Dubs and 6. Which you gotta give us a.
Jordan don't go 7.
That's what I'm saying. Mike don't do that, so I'm gonna give y'all Bulls and 6.
He went on a. All right, well,
Mike ain't never with the game 7. He don't really
listen.
Mike don't listen. This is what they gotta understand when we start. This is what I tell people when we start talking about. I ain't gonna go into all of this, but I'm just saying.
They shouldn't have asked me the question then.
No, I did. That's right. They shouldn't have. But I'm just like when we, like he said, he how many times he been there? 6. How many times he won?
I know.
6. Like, listen, I'm from Chicago where we all still firmly believe had he not taken that break, we running 8, 9 of them off. We sitting there like when he came fresh out, when he came from baseball and came back, we said we won. I'm talking he ain't played yet. So he said I'm back. We said we won. That's how we felt and we thought in Chicago. Like he back, we won. Scotty's still there, we good. Like it's over.
Something about me I just want to know what that felt like. Cause like I grew up watching the Hornets and I love my dad. It's just a different fan experience, right? It's a new team. They got to the second round a couple times, but to know like that confidence as a fan.
Every person in the city felt like that.
You,
Mike
and
we said we won.
He was right.
So that means you definitely remember them LJ Grandma commercials and all that stuff.
Well,
those are the best, man. Between
you had the part down the middle.
Part down the middle with the
yeah.
Had the Lonzo crazy wristband. She getting a shot off. Muggs, my dad, Kendall Gill. They had a squad.
Shout out KG, Chi-Town.
You the only person that get played the way you play. You done seen all kind of defenses like different strategies. Like a lot of guys haven't got like Dame they don't play Dame the way they play you, just off the way that how you play. You know, you always not on the ball. Sometimes you get off the ball. So how is that to see like the biggest league ever, the highest level ever? Like I'm the only person in this league getting guarded like this. And sometimes that can be a different feel because you're not KD. You're not Kobe. You're not 6'9", where I can push you on the side of the free throw line and give you the rock and you just shoot over somebody. You know what I'm saying? At your height, at your length, it's a lot of guys at your size that they can try to throw at you, double team you, or not let you do that. And, you know, guys just haven't got to that level yet. Like, they don't play the way you play.
I mean, obviously it's respect and knowing what I'm capable of on the floor. But it's weird. I don't know if I'm wired different. Like I have it. There's one time that I kind of gave into it and was like, yo, what is going on? That was during the finals when Toronto ran the box and won. And I'm looking around like, yo, we in the finals, right? Like,
right. I ain't seen this since college or high school. What's going on?
That was the one time I was looking around like, yo, what's going on? The rest of the time it's like a challenge, like in terms of how can I adapt, evolve, figure out something different. Because like you said, you know, 6'3" wingspan. It's like creating space for me is different than other guys in terms of being able to get your shot off and find different ways to score at the rim, mid-range, three, all that type of stuff. So, you know, I love the style of being able to play on and off the ball and like just the chaos that you can create even if I don't have it. Like those possessions are mad fun to me. Just you get off of it, you run down the lane, come off the screen, two people come with you, somebody get a layup. Like that brings joy to like the way that I approach the game. So it's always going to be an evolution. The rest of my career, just trying to figure out ways to stay impactful.
That's
on
the
that
cheat
front.
code right there. That's where he's a cheat code because I'm serious. Like just what you just said, like you're going to take the ball from, right? Like, okay, well, I'm going to go turn into Reggie Miller and Ray Allen and run all around a million times and screens. But then I could get the ball
screen and roll
and be AI with a ratchet.
You know what? I know if I was going here what I hate, the fucking flare screen. He come off that mug and he just looking like this and he just I'm like, man, what? He just came off the screen and he acting like I just got it. Right back to flash screen. Yeah. Like those flash screens be killing folks.
That's when I broke the record. That was one thing I wanted to make sure I acknowledge is, you know, the people that sacrifice their body like to set the screens for me because I can be as fast as I want to be running off the screens. Like between Draymond and Bogut, D. Lee, Professor Zealy, Mo Spates. I'm probably gonna leave somebody out, but I had so many guys in that window that Zaza, JaVale like set amazing screens for me that it made it work. So it all works together.
I feel like I know the answer to this because I watched and I've seen it. But like the biggest year that I could liken to when I can even try and compare, like I did when I was in Phoenix, right? When we first started just letting it go. It was the first year I would get 17 3-point attempts, sometimes 18. Like I legit would come down and be like, I look at it like, you know how you know your boys on the other team would be standing in front. I'd be like, next time I touch that thing, it's going up. I don't care where it's at, right? So look, me, you know, be laughing and joking. Like, and I promise you, I didn't, man, that thing that skipped to me before I didn't pick it up off the ground. And so look, what I see from you, like I see sometimes when you get in the rhythm, and I promise you, I used to do this sometimes when I was in Phoenix, because I done had a lot of games with 7 and 6. So if I feel like I'm hot, I play with it. Like, okay, this next one, I'm about to shoot this thing so high to the rafters. Like, I'm asking because I feel like I've seen you do that. I'm asking to make sure because I know sometimes he comes down and then he just, I'm like, hold up.
There's a little bit of that game within the game.
I'm telling you, because you feeling yourself so much like, I wonder if I could do this.
When you have that irrational confidence that you don't care with the results, you like, I'm just trying to.
I had a lot of that in film. I'm telling you, when you got that coach ain't going to say nothing. Shout out Coach D, boy. Ain't going to say nothing. Ain't no bad shots.
That's a different level you get to. I like that.
I'm telling you.
I like that.
Tell me, was it the... Was it the irrational confidence or was it the way teams were guarding you that led you to shooting 40-footers? Because where like me and Drew call you like you, I know you the initiator of it, but Dame and Trae Young, y'all, we call y'all Range Rovers. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all boys shoot anywhere, come in, y'all got in the gym range. Like, how did it get from, okay, cool, you shooting them in practice, you shooting them when you working out, you shoot, like, how did it legit come to the point to, all right, I'm about to come cross half court and crack you?
I didn't have that range in the first maybe 1 or 2 years, but it's mostly the irrational confidence, the work that you put in, and then it became a reaction to how defense are guarding you. Like, where is the most amount of space?
Right.
And you have to balance those two because, everybody got space 28 feet, but is that a good shot? Probably not. So you have to, it came with time, and it was just a natural progression of my game throughout the years. And then once you hit a couple, though, and you, like, they ain't luck. It's like once you establish, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm at, like, that's a good feeling to have, knowing that you can surprise defenses no matter what, because it's hard to defend that shot.
One of my favorite ones is when, I think it was against the Clippers. You didn't zip, zam, boom, and did a turnaround and just and Steve Curry like, no, and then it hit it. He walking back on like,
so that was Coach's first year. That was 14-15 season, his first year, and he's trying to come in and implement the system.
So how did that
ball movement
go?
Maybe hit the open guy. Something good is gonna happen, and I must have not heard that. I didn't hear that lesson. So he's coming in with a certain perspective, and that was I didn't get to see his reaction in real time. I saw it afterwards, so it was beautiful knowing. There's been plenty of times where he's done that and I missed, and he's like, then I look over there and my bad. But more times it works out.
Of course, you're saying your dad, but who's some of them guys that it was like, man, I want to be like him. I want to be like that person.
Steve Nash and Reggie Miller were the two guys that I watched, and as I got older, I feel like, I could kind of combine the two and morph into one. I mean, everybody loved MJ. Everybody loved AI.
Y'all can't beat them.
Y'all
had to
so as a fan, as somebody who just loved, like creativity, competition, and just basketball at the highest level, like those two guys.
Who was that one person that people might not really know, or they might not be the biggest fan of? He was like, man, it was something about him. I just loved him.
Man, that's a good question. What's funny? I'm forgetting it. What was Martin that played for Sacramento?
Kevin Martin?
Yeah.
Kevin Martin.
Had to play this first name. Wind up jumper.
So he was a dude that had to nobody would teach his form, right? But for some reason, every time you guard him, and you knew, I'm like, yo, I might get a block tonight because he's gonna do like this, and I'm gonna be able to swipe down on it. And he was like, we have like the Warrior, we call them the Warrior All-Star team. It's the 5 guys that when you play against them, they have career nights every night. Like Brandon Jennings was on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kevin Martin was on that list. Like every night that dude was. And I'm like, I just love the way that how uncanny it is that you can get your shot off and do it with such unorthodox form. But we know it's coming, and you still do it. Like he was a dude that I just appreciate, and he was a Southern Conference guy. He went to Western Carolina, so I got to. I didn't play against him, but we had that special bond.
Yeah.
That special bond.
Tell me this, like, how do it feel? I know you're a humble dude, right? But how do it feel to get to the point to where people feel like you changed the game of basketball, like globally? Like you changed the way little kid, like Mike had guys going out there trying to be like Mike and do crazy dunks and layups. Like now, I don't care where you go. You turn on Baller's Life, any of the Hoop mixtape, all of the stuff. You go, you see kids trying to be Steph Curry, trying to come down, pull from wherever, whether they had any business doing it or not. You got the whole world trying to do that.
I'm going to use this moment to get on my soapbox and stop tagging me in all these horrible basketball clips of people taking bad shots, talking about I ruined the game. I did not tell y'all to shoot that shot. I did not say
Public
shoot that
service
shot.
announcement.
There was one the other day. Isaiah Quigley took a shot in transition. I probably would have shot that shot, but I did not tell him to shoot that shot. And he was tagging me left and right. Like, yo, you've ruined the game. Thanks. Though. I'm like, yo.
You the guru. They send them all to you.
No, I just play, but it's funny though because I appreciate I shouldn't say the ability to change the way people approach the game is unreal because the 3-point shot and just shooting the basketball it's a skill that everybody can work on. Like you can get better at that. Like I truly believe that. How much better, who knows? But not everybody can just go do calf raises and feel like you can get a 40-inch vert. Nobody can grow 6 inches like that. Yeah. You can shoot the ball, and no matter what level you play, what league it is,
how big you are,
it don't matter. Everybody, that's a common thread amongst basketball players. You have to be able to shoot the ball. So to have affected that skill set in the game, which is probably the most important in the game, like that's dope. And it's also the responsibility of being able to teach the next generation and make sure that messaging is there for them, that is possible. Like I've stretched the imagination and the creativity of what you can do on the basketball floor, but don't skip. You see me over here, don't skip this part. This part's the work.
I mean, that's what separates. Like when you get in the class, like it's not a lot of people that get that said about them. Like you didn't say it, but like to have people saying, oh, you think about it, that's like Will, Kareem, MJ, Dr. J, you know what I'm saying?
Even
Magic,
like Dirk.
Those guys, Dirk. Like it's not a lot of dudes who could say like, you won MVPs, won championships, but to say that like, hey, this dude changed the game globally. Like when Iverson came, he had the whole entire world talking about something. I don't care if you could do it or not. Everybody was all over here with like, it's only those like, you know what I'm saying, once in a lifetime dude.
Watch my mics.
Like I said, damn shoes. That's like some once in a lifetime type stuff. Like where you get that type of credit for something, and then you literally see it. You look around and it's everybody doing that.
It's I mean, hopefully it's inspirational. I hate to use that term, but it's something that will live for forever. I think in terms of how kids approach the game and what they can imagine themselves doing. So
it's good for the game because, like, man, back in the day they were shooting 4 threes. A whole team was shooting 4 threes a game, and just showed that's what the reason the court is that big. You can use all of it.
It all.
Since he won't make a big deal of me scuffing up his little J's, I was going that way anyway. That's the segue. We gonna do that. We gonna go ahead like. You done went like every kid, every player want to have their own shoe. You done went from own shoe to a whole damn brand. Like,
that's crazy.
What do that feel like? Like you right now got a Curry brand Scully on.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like we got on Jordan.
We got the ball head. I gotta make sure it's warm, especially where we at.
I got the winter no cut look. So. It's an amazing opportunity to continue to bring people along this journey with me. I got my first signature shoe in 2015, and to now have your own brand that you get to, inspire kids, inspire people to change their communities in the way that they can, and that's such a universal sentiment that anybody can adopt because you can fill in the gap of what that means and who you get to affect and impact. And that's what the brand is all about. And then, from an athlete perspective, like the signature shoe business, we all know it's hard. Like it's every year you got to continue to elevate and continue to evolve and set standards high. So that process has been unbelievably like fun and rewarding. And to know that I'm like on my 9th signature shoe, we got a running shoe, a lifestyle shoe. We in the golf now,
right?
And everything that we do and we sell is a tie into giving back to the community to help youth sports continue to service the next generation and provide opportunities for kids to play and have safe places to go play too. So everything about it is authentic to me and. I think I know we're just getting started. Like that's the dope part. Like, it could be something that's around for a long time.
How does it feel to be a power couple? Like be a part of a power couple? Like a lot of.
That's a great. I mean, Go ahead. I don't know, follow up to the question, but it's a interesting position because not many people know our backstory. Like we met in high school, at youth group, honestly, and started dating after my freshman year in college, and everything was just a natural progression of just sharing life and living and figuring it out on the fly together. And you ride that wave together, and your bond is so tight, and all the experiences you do together that it's really hard to understand as the rocket ship kind of goes through, and basketball success and her career success all kind of align, how you're received and what the conversations are, and like whatever power couple means in that respect. What we do is, and what we pride ourselves on, is trying to be as real as possible and understand, like, people are inspired by, couples that have quote unquote figured it out or stand for something and have, something to share. Yeah. But we don't put ourselves on that platform of like, of what that means. It's just living life and sharing, bits and pieces of who we are. So I appreciate that so much because if you think about like everything we talk about, everything that's happened, like she's been by my side from day one, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. Yeah. And now that we have our kids, like we have a shared perspective on how we're trying to raise our kids amidst all this chaos and the platform and the bright light. So, that's helpful. And obviously, you don't know what the future's going to hold, and we're all trying to figure it out and adjust as you go through the different seasons in life. And we're going to keep sharing that as much as we can.
Well, we love the Currys as a whole, the whole family. So, man, y'all keep on doing y'all thing. Absolutely. We definitely appreciate y'all, how y'all represent us. It's good to see you and your family doing y'all thing.
I appreciate that, man.
Where do you credit, like, your mom, your dad, or your upbringing, like, the philanthropy and the selflessness of you and the giving back and every time you turn around, you're doing something dope in the community, giving back, giving shoes, creating shoes for the little girls, when, all of those different things, not taking the proceeds, giving the proceeds to this and that. Like, we know that's rare. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that the, world really understands it, but where do you think you got, that put in your heart to be that type of person? And like literally every time you turn around, I'm like, damn, man, like this dude, like, boy, every time you turn around, he doing something dope for the community and stuff. Where do you think you got that
started the philanthropic efforts and just the focus on it and making it a priority started with my parents. My pops had computer learning centers in Charlotte, the greater Charlotte area, and every maybe 2-3 times a year, he was opening up a new one. Me and my siblings would go volunteer and do all that. So I got to see like how basketball could lead to an impact in the community that for a fan base and people that supported them on the court, he was able to support them right back. And so that's initiated everything that I've tried to do and doors that are open to me from the, my successes on the court and the platform to always, find a way to think selflessly and try to give back. And then you can bring people along that journey with you. And so that for me is special. But it's also like my faith is huge to me in terms of like, I knew I was given a God-given skill and ability to play this game and a love and an approach to it. But there's always gratitude for everything that I get. Like, it's not me. Like, I put the work in, but it's not me. And so if I can have an opportunity to leverage that in a positive way, I'm doing right by the blessings that I've been given. And so I have to make sure I say that out loud and make sure that that's a consistent, thing, because you can get lost in the sauce and this stuff pretty quick.
Truly, now that's why I'm sitting here bringing this up, and I'm saluting you from that standpoint, because like you say, we all been in the league and we know how, like you say, you get busy and caught up in all of this stuff, and like somebody, especially in your position, has got so many things going on, and for you to make that a focal point of yours to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, we get a lot of money and we enjoy it and we do things, so it's super dope for us to see how much you do for everybody else with that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's big.
Absolutely. And then you think about like the community that has supported me and my family. I moved to the Bay when I was 21 years old, and I've been there for 13 years. I raised my family there. The fan base has supported us through thick and thin, and me and my wife were able to start a foundation called Eat, Learn, Play that services 99% of our work is done in Oakland around the next generation and setting up resources and the village around the talent that is all throughout that city, but the opportunity is not. And so it's another way to give back, to represent basketball has been awesome. We've all had amazing experiences. We celebrated championships. We've done all this stuff, and this little orange ball has been the spark to that. But now, it's going to lead to, changing lives dramatically, and then that can be able to pass the torch to somebody else. So I'm just doing my part.
Tell us about some of these family shootouts you ever had. What are some of the days? Was y'all daddy kicking y'all ass for a long time?
He always
y'all finally when you finally got that win where it's like, oh, he can't really fuck with me like that.
I got that. I beat him in horse when I was 13, but
he always
you're only as good as your last game, as he would say.
Yeah.
And so he was just waiting for that next opportunity. And he won the last one. It was all three of us in the backyard at the house in Charlotte. So he is the reigning Curry champ, I guess, right now. I hate to admit that, but like you said, shooters can always shoot too. That's the thing I like and admire, but I hate at the same time. He's he's doing color commentating for the Hornets. He probably shoots 10 shots a year, but when them 10 shots go up,
they show it. They show it. I've seen it. I've seen it looking smooth, boy. Looking smooth.
It's crazy.
Listen, this you can just sit here and spectate this part of the conversation, because you ain't got nothing to do. You get a whole lot of dunks, whole lot of block shots, whole lot of this, but he ain't never won no 3-point competition. You know what I'm saying? Me and you can sit here and say that's something I can say I did. You know what I'm saying?
There you
so
go.
We're gonna have a turn like this. So we had this conversation. You feel me? Talk about. This is the part that I always like to talk about, because people don't understand. When they like, y'all just shooting, ain't nothing to be like. When you get up there and you sit on that little block, what that feel like? Right when you on deck, when it's like the whole world about to watch you, it's you in the rim.
That's a different feeling.
And you can't cross nobody.
Off the rack. It's a wild adrenaline rush, because like you said, you got 60 seconds to get it in, and especially if you miss them first 2 or 3, you feel like the world. Oh shit!
I airballed the first one before,
It's a different thing. How different it is than just shooting the basketball in a game, like you say, and it's just you on the stage. But once you get hot though, that's one of the best feelings in the world. I kid you not, the 2 times I've won it.
2 times.
I went up. Yeah, it was a little
Ric
brag.
Flair action. 2 times. 2 times.
2 times.
You get hot and you feel it. You hear the crowd, and you know it's just you. And you just saying, how long can I keep this going? Just get to the last rack, get to the last ball. So that is one of the best feelings in the world, especially when I don't know. For me, the last time I was the last person to go, so I knew the number I had to hit, and just that competition, I love it. I love it so much. I'm probably never gonna do it again.
See, when I was in my conversation, you right. I remember I tell you, Shaq was right there. When you came around to the last 2.
I got money on you or something.
So I missed the first one, and then I hit the last 9 straight. Yeah. So when I hit about 2 on the rack, he began. Yeah, you could just hear him, but I don't know why. It was I could hear him out of everything. You already know he loud, but he was right there. Yeah. Man, every time it was hit, it was Jacob. You said you hear the crowd going, So then I'm knowing okay. I didn't know the score. What I thought I had tied it when I hit all that. I thought I had tied when I got to the seat. I said, oh,
there's the last one.
Yeah, I said that was 2. I said, okay. I didn't credit the money ball was 2. I was like, okay, I got that was when that put me ahead of Corver for that year, and I won it.
How does it feel to be top 75? We watched the ceremony for the 50th greatest, and now it's the 75 greatest.
I watched that too.
To be part of that next generation of 75 greatest players,
sometimes you just stare at the list, and that says enough for me. Like I just stare at the list. Big O, Kareem,
Mike, Magic,
like
Isaiah, everybody.
I can't really put it into words. Just because, like, I watched that same ceremony, I saw the dope jackets. I'm like, it's like the 10 people I really didn't know. I'm like, oh, that's straight up. But it's amazing just to know, like, from that time and just everything that's happened in between there, and to think about the crop of guys that are still playing,
that got picked,
and the guys that just retired. Like, it's a special group to be a part of. Like, that's not even. I don't think that does it justice. It's just. It's something you never imagine until it happens, and something that every time you think about it or it's brought up, it'll always bring the same smile to my face. Because Lee's only been around 75 years. You think about it, just like you said, like how many players are coming in, how many great players.
75th anniversary, and they're gonna pick 25 players. Like, what was your thoughts of that? Like, oh, do I got a chance of this? That
was the first thought. Then you start. Well, I shouldn't say. Then you got your people in your camp and all that who already started doing the list for you.
Like, please, like, okay,
they gotta pick you, bro.
You be humble.
They gotta pick you. They gotta pick a few more.
Like, you want you in there. Like, you over there being humble. Like, yo, somewhere.
The vote ain't for another month, man. Y'all had me over here, nervous wreck the whole time. But once you start thinking about it, it's like I think I've done enough to get on there, and like until you actually hear your name on there, the full appreciation doesn't come, because you can think about like Klay and the guys that are like whatever 77 through 90. Yeah. Like I agree, but and it's also like there's so many amazing basketball players that you suit up with and against and all that type of stuff. So it's a special accomplishment.
You gotta be excited for what, like, we don't even know what it's gonna be, but you know All-Star is gonna be some grand celebration. I don't know if y'all gonna get some jackets or whatever y'all gonna get.
The jackets might be in store. I think somebody did ask for the measurements.
Okay,
but,
see, there it is.
They gotta get some dope, cause them jackets Mike them had on when they got up.
Like you say, you gonna be going and getting enshrined, and it's gonna be that moment. I don't know if they're gonna have everybody there or how they gonna do it, but like that's like to know that you amongst them type of people is unreal, dude.
I know how many people will be there in person. You like see it on paper is one thing, but seeing like all on the same court, that's gonna be a whole nother vibe. So we'll see what happens.
Who's your not your top 5, but your favorite 5 players? Your favorite 5.
My favorite 5.
This ain't about who you thought was the best. It's just,
I know my favorite 5. From me watching the game, it was MJ, AI, Steve Nash, Reggie Miller, and Muggsy was my I'm sorry, Pops. Pops the honorable mention just on that list, but I still can't get over the visual of just watching Muggs play. Like it's still to me is just one of the most amazing accomplishments of all time. Just
I thought you were gonna say Vinsanity.
Yeah, he'd be right there too. They all played together in Toronto, but that'd be my 5.
I want to ask you start bench cut.
All right.
You got to start one. You got to bench one. You got to cut one.
All right.
That's what he's trying to get you.
I know. Let's go.
Gary Payton, Jason Kidd,
all day.
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh my God.
You gotta start one. Well, you gotta trade one. I ain't gonna let you cut no. Start bench trade. Gary Payton, Jason Kidd.
And you get me in trouble because I'm playing with a son.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wanted to ask you about him too.
And J Kidd. J Kidd is this ain't got nothing to do with the question. He's just my favorite of the point guards that I got to watch. Besides Steve Nash, that's my guy. J Kidd, we starting J Kidd. Oh my! How you pick between Zeke and GP? You trade GP and you bench Zeke. That's crazy.
That's what you want to do. You the one got CGP, no?
Trade in for GP2.
This is what I like to ask. I know you humble though, so I don't know what I'm gonna get. When you first got some cash, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about like, all right, I'm about to go, buy a house. And I don't hear about none of that. Like, I like how you got ice on right now. Like, what did you do when you felt comfortable? Like, I got a little something. I could do something nice for myself.
Me.
What did the chef do? What did Chef Curry do when he got a little change in his pocket, a little pocketbook money?
The car is one thing, but when you feel confident enough to put your initials and logo and stuff all up in the seats and the rims in the back and the leather and the stitching and
suede and all.
Oh, when you do that for me was like
big time.
And then not knowing what I was doing, I sold a car like a year later.
That's everybody though. You getting that one type of crap nigga, and they like, you ain't gonna get no money for it no more.
It fools us every time.
You just ruined it.
Fools us every time.
Every time. It was a rite of passage in the league. Oh, I remember that like it was yesterday.
How is it? Like, y'all go to the championships, 4 out of 5 years or something like that.
5 in a row.
5 in a row.
I lost 2 of them.
But, teams are waiting on y'all to, that's over with, get on out the way. They losing now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Teams are waiting for y'all to lose and not be on that mountaintop no more. How was the rebuild? Seeing these young guys come in, it ain't about bringing a veteran in because we still there. It's like about a rebuild. Yeah. Not really a rebuild, but
you can call it that because it was the injury part that took away the core that then forced you into a different kind of situation really quick. For as many good breaks as we had a lot of bad breaks at the end of the run, and obviously KD's injury, and then him leaving, Klay's injury, having missed now 2 years. I broke my hand, missed 5 months. That season. You understand the big picture of it might look different. We still have our same core. If we can just get healthy, we're gonna have a shot. But you don't know how to fill in the gaps and what it's gonna take because. Especially nowadays, like player movement and all that stuff is so wild. Yeah. Retooling is pretty hard. But then you get to this season and honestly, I didn't think we'd start off as hot as we have, because we had we knew we had what we needed, but chemistry takes a while to build. But we've tried to expedite that, and now we're in a really good position to implement Klay back. Hopefully get James Wiseman in there. We got some really talented young guys mixed with the veteran core.
Looking at everybody said it was over.
I think it helped y'all get the pieces that y'all kind of needed to get them last couple of years with guys getting older and guys retiring. Y'all missing. I feel like, man, y'all got a lot to choose from. Y'all got Gary Payton Jr. over there, man. Y'all got Lee over there, man. Y'all got a lot of young talent.
First of all,
to mix with y'all.
You said earlier, who was messing up? Who the hell was messing up? How Gary Payton Jr. wasn't the second? I'm sorry. How he come on, bro. Just strictly from a defensive standpoint, how he wasn't playing, how he wasn't on the team, how he
I can ask all those questions. He tell you he's gotten better, but I'm asking those same questions because he affects the game. That's all you want, people that affect the game.
All right, man, that's been a wrap, man. We appreciate Chef Curry, the best shooter on the planet ever walking, to pull up on us. You know what I'm saying? This was real. We appreciate you, fam.
Appreciate y'all having me. Absolutely.